Hello, this is John Lunt, lead programmer at BB Digital Lab LLC, and you're listening to or watching the BB&J podcast. So, on Monday, I was talking about the future of networking, both in person and virtual. And this year, there's a good chance that we're going to have some in-person events again. So, this podcast, I'm going to be talking about getting the most out of in-person virtual events. You know, because I think a lot of us have gone and maybe you end up with a few note cards that end up in the back of your wallet, but like you don't get a lot meaningful, or maybe you only get one or two meaningful interactions that lead to something more. But even then, I mean, like I said, I went to plenty of networking events in high school and college. I didn't know what I was doing. I really didn't understand what the purpose was for myself and for others, and how to effectively utilize the event and get the most out of it. So, based on my experience, I'm going to try to do what I can to help you guys so you don't have to make the same mistakes. Or if you're not seeing results, make sure that you're doing these things so that, and see if that works, see if that helps you. So the first thing is connecting with the people there ahead of time. If you're going to an event, especially where you know some of the guests or who the presenters are, who you're going to be engaging with, and you should have a big reason why you're there, at least some people of why you're there that you really want to talk to. Connect with them beforehand, because, hey, we just connected on LinkedIn. It's good to meet you in person after, our virtually meeting you. Or, hey, you posted that article on, or you posted that video on getting the most out of networking events, right? Yeah, I saw that. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I saw your comment. I really appreciated it. Like, or like the best case scenario is they're like, hey, you're such and such, right? Like, oh, hey, you're John, right? Oh my gosh, yeah, I remember you from the thing I saw virtually. Like, that is super powerful, because now you're no longer just another face in the crowd, another stranger. You're someone they know to some degree, and you have that early in. So don't treat that first one-on-one, that first interaction, don't treat that networking event as the first time you're meeting them. You should already have connected with the people, whoever you can, as many people, or the most important people that in the room, people for you personally, because the main speaker might not be the most important person in the room for you. Find who that is, figure out who that is, do your research ahead of time, and make those connections. So preparation is a big chunk of this. If you don't come in prepared, you're going to have a lot of problems, right? Then the question is, what do you do during the event itself? Who do you talk to? How do you go about engaging with people, right? So as I said, there's going to be some people that you really want to talk to, and some people that you really want to talk to, but you just don't know it yet. Find those people. Do what you can to find those people. If you're like, oh, I wanted to see them, I wanted to talk to them, seek them out. You don't have to like sprint to them or stalk them or anything, but do seek them out during the event. Be mindful of how much time you have and where your time is best utilized. Okay? I'm sure that there's someone that you're going to find who you're comfortable hanging out with, you're comfortable having a conversation with. I mean, you could bring them along, but if they're not strongly beneficial for your future, your progress, and your professional development, it might be time to move on. It's good to have friends, but think about where your time is best utilized with these events. Get as many, and kind of related to that, get the most out of your interactions, right? So when you talk to someone, see if you can get a business card. Get that name and number at the very least. Email would be great, so you can start engaging with them. Figure out what social media platforms they're on so you can connect with them there. If they have a YouTube channel, then find out there. Especially for the people that are important that you didn't realize were important beforehand, or you didn't know were going to be at the event. This is the place to do it. At least finish up the conversation with that. Can I have your business card? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on this X social media platform? That's super important. Last thing I'd like to talk about is follow-up, the last third of any of these networking events. And another thing that people don't put enough consideration and time into that they as much as they should. Connect. If you didn't connect with someone before the event, connect with them after. Send a connection request on LinkedIn. Hey, I had a great time talking to you at this event. I mean, it can be that simple, you know? Connect with them on whatever social media platforms they're active on. And do what you can to start engaging with them, keeping you in their consideration set. So if that's someone you want to work with, then you really should be continuing to communicate and engage with them, because when they're ready for you, they might be ready for you already and they just don't know it yet. They don't realize the value that they would get from working with you. This is where the rubber really meets the road. And follow-up is part of that, nurturing the relationship. You get so much out of nurturing a relationship. I mean, trying to say, oh, I'm going to get it all done during the networking event, that's like saying, oh, I'm going to cold call a medical practice and that's going to turn into a long-term client. Could it for like 0.1% of the calls? Maybe. But is it going to consistently, reliably, and scalably? No. Most of those connections, most of those relations are those connections you forged, the relationships you forged are going to be wasted if you don't follow up, if you don't continue to engage with them. So nurturing the critical thing, once you're done with the networking event, once you come home, you pulled up your computer and search them online, is nurturing that relationship. So to kind of go through it all, before networking event, start that connection. Do that initial reach out so you're not some face in the crowd. During the networking event, find the people that you really want to talk to. Find the people and try to find people that you need to talk to, you just didn't know it yet, and get their information so you can do the follow-up. And for the follow-up, continue to nurture the relationship. Continue to engage with them. If they have a birthday, say happy birthday. It's really that simple, engage with them honestly. If you're like, oh my gosh, that was such a cool video, comment, oh my gosh, that was such a cool video. I really liked the part where you did the actual graph and you showed how the data converts into this live thing. Like, if you're excited about something, be excited. If you're excited to meet them, or that in-person thing, like, oh my gosh, I loved the article you wrote on the future of dirt and shoes. I don't know. Then tell them it's okay to fan person out a little bit, or fan out. Yeah, it's okay to fan out every once in a while. And making those connections is going to enable you to get the most out of these events, because a networking event is an investment in your time. Make sure you're getting a return of that investment. And on that, I'd like to end the podcast. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I look forward to seeing you again next week. So make sure to tune in then. And yeah, I had a great time. Hope you did too.